Well,
What is happening, crew? You are back live with us. Happy Sunday, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're coming from. We got the boys right now. We got my pappy and we got Zip Sips in here with us live from the land where iguanas fall out of trees. Where beer flows like salmon and Samuel Capistrano. A little place called Florida. Guys, how we doing?
Doing fantastic. How are you doing, B-Man?
It's fantastic. It's just a great busy week. My favorite kinds. Guys, we are so excited to hear about your trip. So excited to ask you some questions. How was the meeting last night? Did my dad crush his speech? Because we had talked a lot about that, and I'm just wondering how that went.
Yeah, well, you know, Alan knocked it out of the park. He always does. It's phenomenal.
Yeah.
The whole panel was absolutely great, and a lot of good information. But yes, Alan did excellent. Too bad it wasn't recorded. But yeah, great event. A lot of good information, and what do you got to say, Alan, so far?
Just fantastic people. I was really kind of amazed what a family feel it has to it. We're all here to barbecue right now, and about to turn the grill on and have a great day here in sunny Florida. I don't do a lot of stage work or live speeches or stuff like that. I'm used to being in front of a camera, so for me it was different. I did pretty well. I didn't stutter too much, and didn't wet myself, so all that's pretty good. I had a lot of fun, and what you realize is that you don't want to get off the stage. We didn't create a ham. I think we created a whole hog last night. So yeah, it's going to be fun going forward, doing different shows. So I had fun.
Yeah, it's been a good time. One of the big things for me was it's the networking, right? Be around a community of everybody's like-minded, that resonate together, and obviously you can talk about XRP without any contention or issues, but the networking piece of it and meeting other individuals and just talking about the problems and the issues maybe that they're having with cold storage. And Mickle talked about, and probably we'll talk about here in a little bit, the institutional custody and kind of what's coming with what they're doing over there with Claver and the guys, but just that networking in general and friendships that are being created. It's been an absolute blast, and I'm so glad I came over here.
Yeah, I am too. Where do you live at, brother?
Me, I'm about 8 hours from here on the Panhandle of Florida.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I've been all through there, man. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
We got couple things on that. I guested on Dipito this week, and we just had a panel of us that just we kind of cooked, and Melissa asked us all questions, and that was the same sentiment that we all came up with. This whole thing that we're all doing and getting together and shooting videos, and like Dad and I are real passionate about getting more of the crew on, getting you guys involved. We love your channel. And so it's like, how can we promote ours within? And the networking is really the gold here. It's really the opportunities that are coming to all of us, and that we're all going to just try to share with all of you for years and years to come, is already getting me so excited. It's like, I'll talk to somebody from the crew, and they'll have like something totally different. They'll be like, well, what's your dad? Is that the thing your dad's can't tell us about yet? And I'm like, no, dude, that's something totally different. That is something completely different. Like, there's something else. There's another one.
Yeah. It's community. That's what we're doing here with all our fine people of the XRP family. Yeah, it's good. Hey, Brent, I got another person.
right now. Hey,
What do you got
Atlantic,
for us?
Atlantic, I wrote down a quote of yours from the Dipito show. I was wondering if I can share that. I thought it was fantastic. Just putting that out there.
Okay. Cool.
What do you guys want to run on, man? Let's run.
I actually want to get out of the camera here so that I can get my buddy Rob, XRP007, who's actually the host of this entire show. And I'm going to let those two sit right here and tell you what happened last night. And I want Rob to, I don't think you've met Rob. Have you, Brent?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Now, Alan, before you get out of the camera, I wanted to say thank you for being the speaker. I wanted to give you that to take home with you.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Thank you
really
so
appreciate
much.
it.
Wow. Look at
Nice.
that, guys. Classic. B-Man, this will be yours.
Beautiful.
Right?
Beautiful.
This
Thank
is
you,
headed to
Rob.
my son here. Okay. I know everybody on my channel knows who this man is. He needs no introduction, but I'm going to go ahead and give it anyway. This is one of the kinder souls, hearts, people of our space that I've met in a very long time. People that follow our channel, such as Rob and Jim. I'm sorry, Rob and Jim. Todd and Jim have been watching his show for years, and he said, Alan, you've got to watch his content. He speaks from the heart. He reminds me of the words that you bring to our family, and I really think you should meet him and you should get together with him, and I think it'd be a great relationship. So sure enough, he and I hit it right off, as anybody could imagine. And then when we got to actually see all the people there's a lot of people that he has here that don't watch my channel and vice versa. And I don't know why, because he and I have the same sort of point of view and appreciation for the community in which we all have. So with that introduction, I'd like to introduce to my crowd. If you don't know who this man is, you should really give him a follow. Rob,
Thanks, Alan.
love
Appreciate
to have you here, man. You two sit down and steal the show. What do you got for Rob?
Hey,
So,
Rob.
Brent?
Good to meet you finally.
Nice to
Pleasure,
meet
brother.
you. Yeah, good morning. And it's Brent, right?
Yes. And
Okay, pleasure.
I feel like I'm always reading something that you're posting.
Oh, no kidding. Okay.
So yeah, so thank you so much for putting out info for all of us. We're excited to have you on.
Well, thank you so much. I wish we had met earlier because we could have got you here. So it was really kind of a really great gathering that we had. But there will be another.
I'll be at more of these in the future. That's the plan going forward. And my heart is in Florida. So.
Oh, is it really? How come?
Yeah, I love Florida. If
good.
I didn't live in California, I'd still be there. So.
I'll be darned. Well, I always like to ask. Anytime I meet someone, that my first question is always the same. I said, what year did you find XRP? How in the world did you find out about it? And what's the first price you bought it at?
Yeah. 2020, 40 something cents. And wish I was there talking to 100 people about it right now.
Right.
I would love to ask you guys, a big one that we asked in Vegas last year of the crew is, what do you see kind of going forward from here? Maybe specifically about XRP. What's the sentiment? What's the feeling about what everybody's excited about, what everybody's looking to do on the XRP ledger?
Well, for me personally, it's, being a holder for almost 5 years, maybe more like 4.5. We all got in this rut, for lack of better words, that we thought you would always be able to buy XRP for 50 cents. I have so many friends that just took it for granted, sat on their hands, and then those days are gone. And then the same thing goes for the SEC case. You just took for granted it was never, ever going to end. And then it just seems like ever since the elections, things have changed, just going parabolic with in terms of like regulations and all sorts of things happening. So they're happening at this quick step pace, albeit the price of XRP remains at this area is stunning, in my humble opinion. So again, it just kind of requires patience as long as it takes. And then for me, I'm just waiting for two events primarily. that I'm holding out for lack of better words, just to see what happens afterwards. One is just to finally have officially the case done, being that it's signed off, with the Judge Torres and the injunction. I actually think that's going to happen sooner than people think. From what I understand, it's like she's already agreed. Hey, if Ripple, SEC, you agree, it's a done deal. So I think that will happen a little bit quicker than most expect. That's the one shoe to drop. And the other is simply just on regulations. And then it's funny because I just said to myself, I always conduct myself on the rule of reasonableness. And I said, it just seems reasonable that they could usher all this in about 6 months. So for me, that put it by the end of September into Q3. That I would think that full regulations are in. And then after that point, it's going to be very fascinating to see how the adoption comes in and the use case.
Yeah.
Agreed. Yeah.
Agreed. We're so excited to always do meetups. And you've planned out this one. This is one that my dad was literally just itching. He's like, dude, I have to go to that. There's no way I'm going to that. What's it been like so far, guys? Is there somebody that you were really excited to meet?
Oh, absolutely. Like everyone. So yeah, it's been extraordinary. It's like, what happens is one thing I mentioned. One thing for as far as me personally, as I said, I'm like coming to this event, I knew it's almost like a gift bag that you don't know what's inside it. It's like a surprise bag. And so for everybody, it's going to be different for each individual, that they take away something that just puts a dent in their universe. But the thing I didn't, probably the most awesome surprise is just meeting new XRP holders like like this gentleman right next to me, like super excited to just have met him. And it's like, that's the part that gets me really excited. So personally, yeah.
Same sentiment as I said earlier. It's the same thing. So I was excited to meet Mickle, which I did, and learn about some of the institutional grade stuff that we were talking about. And again, the larger community as a whole. But to answer your question, as far as the sentiment of where I think things are going, echo everything that Rob just said. But the long-term macro view, because I'm more of a macro view, I'm in it for the long game and have a specific exit strategy like everyone should, but interested to see where the utility and the tokenization of the assets and everything that's coming in the years to come. I think that's where the larger price explosion really happens. We're going to see price go up this year, as Alan always says, price go up. Yeah. But that long-term macro picture and thinking about, that's why I was excited to hear from Mickle, how we're going to custody this stuff in the future and get that passive ROI in the future. That was the key for me, and absolutely excited about it.
The part I'd like to add to that question is, if you look at the liquidity in the market, the M2 supply, every single time that comes to the market, which is already turning up, there's an 85% correlation to a new all-time high with all cryptocurrencies, except for us XRP holders, when the case held us all back.
Yeah.
But every other coin hit all-time highs by like 3 to 10x. Well, we've reached all-time highs with Bitcoin, Solana, and XRP without that liquidity in the market.
Amazing.
Remember,
absolutely
there's
amazing.
an 85% correlation to when they print, and they're going to have to print because there's almost $9 trillion coming due this year. So they're going to have to spread liquidity on the market. Every time that happens, there's at least a 3x coming your way. So nice. I'm really looking forward to that. That's coming soon.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a domino. I think it's going to be a domino effect here very rapidly because we have all the stablecoin regulation that's going on. You guys watched, I mean, Wyoming will have their stablecoin launched in July. And I think that domino effect is going to trickle through the markets as the regulation comes in, and we're going to see impactful changes here very, very shortly. And that's like Rob said, I've been in it since 2019. So just holding on, being patient, and not buying into the FOMO, and just seeing that long-term macro view. So your exits are very strategic. That's what's exciting. And that resonates through the community here.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm not as sure, but with when it comes to like once we do have the regulations in the suit over, I actually think that we'll see to an extent a supply shock when you combine it with, 18 ETFs that we have now. And then you understand how big, institutional money, accredited investors, it's just like a wall. It's a tsunami of money compared to what's in it right now with retail. Retail is kind of like the speck in the sand. So I think we could see a lot of a pull from different areas, whether it's tokenization or the accredited investors or corporations having as a reserve. And the list just goes on and on. It's kind of this infinite thing that it'll get kind of exciting as it starts to get off of the exchanges, and be used for these things. So a lot to look forward to. The real USD is going to be fascinating how that plays out once that gets in. The fun part about real USD, I think a lot of people think about it in terms of being tied in with USDT and retail, but it's really the institutions that are the ones that are going to want to be using it.
Absolutely. And that volume, RLUSD's volume's kicking up, and and it obviously falls in line with the regulatory clarity that's going to be required, whether it's MiCA standards or our stablecoin regulation here in the US. And it's going to be absolutely impactful. I don't even think we know how impactful it's going to be yet as far as the volume from an institutional perspective.
And if your heart's in Florida, you need to get down here, brother.
Oh man. I got no excuses. I'm on my way.
Yeah, absolutely. So,
I've been here twice in the last 6 months, so yeah. It's fun. I miss it. It's beautiful.
Yeah. It was so fun. So growing up, my dad went and worked on yachts out there. He lived in Fort Lauderdale for a long time. And
nice.
Just getting to go and like get out of my little mountain cocoon here that we have in California. My dad always lived in the mountains, and getting out there, and it's like being on an island. It really is. And
how about that?
It's just so special. Like even the background right now where you guys are at. It's just so beautiful, man. I'm a palm trees guy too.
Yeah. This is a pretty place. We're in a park that actually goes out to the Intercoastal Waterway. You can take a kayak out there and go out all the way out to the Gulf of America.
There was a chameleon on the table here just a minute ago.
Yeah. The place is crawling.
So the great lizards, maybe not the place.
I really
I'm gonna go grab a special guest, guys. I'm gonna be right back.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
We I was on a show this week. We were on a panel, Rob, and one of our longtime subscribers here with us, he asked us really the best questions in our chat. Everybody does, but he specifically chucks them out at both of us. He wrote this this week, and I just wanted to share it.
Okay.
Being introduced to crypto has impressed upon me in other areas. You realize being exposed to this space, I stopped watching mainstream media. I refer to independent media and X. It's an awakening.
Absolutely.
Can you guys speak on the awakening that you've seen in your time in this space?
Yeah, I think Brent, I've spoken to this previously. It's absolutely transformative if you follow the right frequency, right? And the understanding. So I came into crypto looking for money, like we all do, and we're going to get all that, and that's all great, but that's not the impactful part of what's going on here. It's the community and taking that capital in the future and promoting it and doing great things with it. So that transformative environment that I've been through and walking through has been absolutely phenomenal by listening to folks like Rob, Alan, and a lot of the other influencers. That just has transformed my psychology and where I am. And likewise, not paying attention to the media so much, but getting inside and listening to smart folks that have deep insight that changes your mindset. Because I'm a huge mindset person, as you know, and it's all about positive creativity going into the future and using what we've been blessed with to be able to be invested here and the opportunities and using that into the future to promote more opportunity to other people. And that's what it's about. That's why I said the networking here and just talking to folks that are everyone from only been in XRP maybe for a month, couple weeks, to that have been in it since 2019, 2017. That's what's transformative and exciting.
It's a great question. And I tell you what, like for me personally, it's been an evolution too, because the very moment I entered into digital assets, it was as a speculator. It was pure speculation. And then over a period of time, whether it's 6 months or a year, I turned into a trader. And then after I transitioned from a trader to an investor. And that basically happened once I started to understand that the problem that these digital assets solve, in particular XRP. My background was such that I used to write bank software for large institutional banks when I was very young. Don't do it anymore. So it's a little bit kind of in the past. But that knowledge is like, it really kind of opened up my eyes. And it's like, I kind of got that. And I was really excited once I figured out the connections, because in the beginning, all I knew, like so many people, is that XRP could hit $10. That's the only thing I knew about it, when it's coming to speculation. And one thing I will speak to this event, which is absolutely amazing. Everybody that showed up, they all understand the problem that XRP solves. There's not one person that was in our room that for this event that didn't truly understand. It's like, you got people, yeah, I'm going to take profit when it reaches $5 or $10 or $20. Nope, everybody here says, I'm going to wait until adoption of this digital asset occurs. And I'm here for that evolution of adoption between 3, 4, 5 digits, wherever it may lead them.
Well said.
Yeah.
I concur with that as well, particularly with XRP. We're sitting on something very useful, very special. That quote was coming from Atlantic Living. Thank you so much for that comment, brother. Yeah, we were talking about the awakening, that we see happening, maybe in terms of, who we are as investors, but also who we are, right, as community builders and networkers.
Yeah.
What is the crew impressed upon you in our time doing this channel?
A lot of what we've already spoken about, but for me, it's the patience of everybody in this field, in particular at this meeting, but everybody at Vegas as well. Like Rob just said, we got into the space as speculators, but since then we're owners now. I really call it, you own the product. You own part of the corporation. You own the true basics of the future of what money is going to be used for and with. That's something revolutionary, and everybody understands that. The most of people in the army or the family, I'm going to call them now, aren't, oh, I bought it last week at 40 cents and it went to 80 cents and I sold. Everybody is fully committed. They're not, like we just said, we're not selling at $5. Might sell a little bit at 10 or something like that, right? To buy your car or whatever you need to do. But everybody in the crew that I've noticed is committed long-term, understanding patience. If you go on X right now, everybody out there is just, oh, it's crashing. The whole world's crashing. I don't hear that here. I don't hear that in the XRP community.
Here, buy more.
Yeah.
I'm getting more.
Yeah, everybody's buy more, and
We're
everybody
still
really
early.
understands what they own more than almost any other space we're in. Yeah, for sure. That's what I get from this curve.
Yeah,
Great question.
the intelligence and the like that, the vibrational energy, that you were talking about, Zips, is really it's brought me into it in a whole nother way. I've obviously gotten to see my dad really bring his talents forward. I'm so proud of what he's done on our channel, and he's made this thing happen for us.
Absolutely.
And it's so exciting for me to kind of come in with my personality, and one of the other big questions we like to ask everybody in Vegas, and we're gonna try to come up with some new ones too, but we wanted to give you both an opportunity to just shout out somebody who's either inspired you in the space or somebody in your life that you just want to say hi to, somebody that you love.
Go first.
Yeah, I'm going to say my spouse, honestly, because she's put up with dealing with the crypto environment, and she wouldn't understand it, and obviously it's very risky. We were all taking risk, and when I got in early 2019, I honestly come from a technical background, and so I could understand the technology, but there was still the risk there. So without her, I would not be here. Absolutely. But beyond that, inspiration within the community. It's all the people that are here that are sitting at this table, and the gentleman that's getting ready to speak that we've been listening to for years and years, that obviously just keep you going, because they again are at a different technical level, and it's just a complete understanding and learning that's goes out to many people, influencers, whatever you would like to call them. But that keeps us going, and understanding that we do own technology. We own the technical stack that is changing the financial infrastructure, and we're watching that implementation go on right before our eyes.
It's hard for me to pick
Well
any
said.
particular one person, because just the journey of this has been just such a blessing. We all got in it thinking about where we would be financially, make it in our universe. And I said, I really can't pinpoint, because so many individuals, it's not just about XRP. It's just like they truly, genuinely care about other people. I've had people I've met, like one in particular is here. He spoke, was Todd. And Todd and Bonnie's one of the very first people I met in this community. And he's been instrumental. He's been a North Star in my life. It's just been crazy. And it's something I just did not expect happening. And everybody else I've met recently along the way, just genuine. I always say, it's like, even like this event, but just anyone in the space, we come here and we're looking for life-changing wealth. Hopefully some people came here today have some lifetime memories, and then we all made some lifetime friendships.
I love it. I love Todd and Bonnie. I've had the pleasure of doing a meetup at my house, and they came. They don't live too far away from me.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And man, I love just opening them both up. It's like I end up asking Todd, advice and questions, and
Right.
I'll say something and I'll be like, well, what about this? And I'm like,
yeah. He's a good one to ask.
Right,
He's a good one to ask. And what's funny, Brent, is like yesterday, it's like we, a lot of things party probably would have been like, for one, there was an event that happened 3 weeks before mine. That was the Quantum Financial Summit in Cape Canaveral. So a lot of people that were planning to come to mine, they just couldn't do two back to back to make 2 trips to California. So I had a lot of people. And Dave with Digital Outlook was one where he was planning on coming, and he had to kind of change his mind, as well as Patrick O'Reilly. So I wanted to have a stage of 4 speakers. And then I looked at Todd. I told Todd, I said, Todd, about as much as anybody I've ever met that's a YouTube influencer. And I said, I want you up on this stage. And he got up on stage and he crushed it.
He did so great. We all knew what Todd had in him, and he actually let it loose. I was like, wow, he acted like he'd been doing this forever. That was fantastic.
Brent, I'm gonna continue to play host. Thank you so much for letting me get on for a few minutes.
Hey, real quick, Rob, real quick. I can't, I didn't sleep at the wheel or something. I just your newest subscriber here.
Oh, awesome.
I just
well, I gotta tell you, thank you so much.
Never, right?
Well, I got to tell you a fun little highlight that happened, and it's just fell into my lap. The same way that XRP did, being that everybody knows the XRP monkey that's on Brad Garlinghouse's wall that says, "Laugh now, XRP will power the world." Right? That painting, and he did on Twitter, and it's been viewed 2.2 million times up on Twitter. Out of nowhere, this gentleman, an artist, contacts me from London about 2 weeks ago and says, "Hey, I know the artist. We're just doing a limited edition of only 10 prints. And if you want, promote it on your channel." He said, Brad has the first one. I think he said John Deaton has the second one. I don't know who on the third one. So I bought the 4th and the 5th one. The 4th one I kept, and the 5th one we auctioned off for our veterans for Tunnels to Tower Foundation, which was a lot of fun. That was a highlight of our auction for our vets. And a really great gentleman who's here, who's a mover and shaker, bought that. He had to have it. And the odd thing was, in November this past year, he tweeted about that, and he's going, "Who owns this? I want this." He showed me the tweet from November. He says, "Rob, I can't believe it. I got it." And so anyways, I bid her. So that was one of my highlights. So anyway, hopefully there is going to be a party too. I haven't made the announcement on it, but I may wait for some like magic to happen, but get everybody in Newport to do that. Thanks so much, Brent.
Thank you
Rob,
so much,
thanks for
Rob.
being
Good to
great,
meet
bro.
you.
Oh, you're quite welcome. Thanks so much, Alan.
Take care of your people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see y'all. Good seeing you, Brent.
Good to see you too,
Yeah.
brother.
Nailed it, Zip. So, Brent, I believe you met this gentleman in Las Vegas, and I'm going to bring him on because he can do all the talking, and we can probably all figure out who he is without an introduction.
Mhm.
This is Mr. Mickle Man.
How's it going?
What is going on, brother?
Do you remember Brent?
I do.
Yeah.
I
Cool.
Yeah, we met briefly, and I remember you were like, I didn't know if you were working for somebody else because you had your own tripod and camera and everything. You know, you were
Yeah,
like, you were
no,
one-man band when I met you.
I was a one-man show at the time, but yeah, no, it was a blast.
Your content, brother, is so good. Since then, I've followed you on X, and you know, I catch a video here and there, and we love what you're putting out. And we're so excited to meet up with you in Vegas. And you're somebody that we would really like to interview and open up and let cook, just like right now.
Oh, no, absolutely. No, I would be honored to be a part of that. Yeah, no, super excited to be able to do that in Vegas, and no, just really appreciate the kind words.
Yeah. We're asking everybody, Mickle, what you kind of see in the near future, not necessarily predictions or anything like that, but you know, this institutional adoption, regulation, what you see kind of coming next, and some big things maybe for XRP specifically, but you know, just the crypto space in general. What do you look at?
So I think the biggest thing for me is like that actual institutional adoption. And I think the thing that a lot of people miss is that institutional adoption kind of has to happen in two waves. Your Bank of America, your JP Morgan, they're not just going to go say, hey, we're putting all our clients' bank accounts on the public blockchain, right? They need to make sure that as they build out these new systems, there's private permissioned, walled guarded environments that hook up to the public networks. And the more of these private permissioned walled gardens we have built on DLT technology, the more and more you're going to need public liquidity in the middle to really bridge the gap and create a connection between all these siloed walled gardens. And that build out is happening as we speak. We're seeing for the first time real momentum with Bank of America, Citi, JP Morgan, them coming out and saying, hey, like we are building out these platforms. We are all in on tokenization. They see the benefit, and not enough people really see the connection to that ultimately going to the public networks as a bridge to be able to create interoperability with this new system being built out in front of us.
Yeah. We talk about it a lot where, you know, the finite nature of you know, coins and tokens on blockchains, you know, with all these institutional tools and, you know, these ETFs and things that are coming along. Do you see that like push that, you know, okay, everybody at some point here, it's going to be like a cutoff, and it's going to be like, we have to have these assets. Like we have to buy these things up now, you know, because it's going to be limited. Do you see that happening like sooner rather than later?
Oh, absolutely. And I think the biggest thing right now is like there's a lot less education in the space, and I think a lot of people realize like we're in a very small, very educated community where we really understand this stuff, but the vast majority of people don't. I go to a lot of traditional finance conferences where I'm able to talk with really big wealth managers, trillions of dollars under management, and like they don't understand Bitcoin, and they don't understand any of this cryptocurrency stuff. And people really need to see it put in front of them for them to be able to kind of come to the conclusion and the answers we've already been able to formulate because of our education in the space. So I think once you start seeing things like a Ripple IPO, once investors can start saying, oh, wow, this much revenue is coming from this company. Once people can start saying, oh, wow, this institution is using XRP for this, it's going to force people to actually start to understand it, because They don't have the capability to see the technology and see that vision that we're able to see. But when it's put in front of them, they will then understand it. And that's how a lot of these things have gone. I remember one of the things I always like to do is go back in time and watch old interviews of Jeff Bezos and Steve Jobs and these people, and see how the media had reacted to kind of these innovations they were bringing forth. And no one understood it. People understood it, and these big investors started to understand it when there was 1 million iPhones out there, when there was 10 million iPhones out there. That's when they started to see it. But the people who understood how transformational e-commerce was going to be, and the people who understood how transformational a computer in your pocket rather than just something that you can dial up someone, those kinds of people who understood that technology transformation, those were the people who were early. So a lot of people are going to have to see it in front of them to come to the same conclusion that we've been able to come to a lot sooner.
That is well said, brother.
He's done this before.
Dude, yeah, right. That was so good.
I've got a quick question. I have a question for him, Brad.
Yeah.
He covered a couple of topics last night on stage. By the way, you crushed it last night.
Thank you.
Unbelievable. The one that I know that a lot of our fans are really kind of looking for is residual income, using our XRP and not losing them and never having to sell them. That's a big question for people.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's a couple things to cover on this front. The biggest thing to understand is, like, one of the biggest pitfalls in the industry before in the past has been you're essentially kind of entering some kind of black box. So people get very excited to be able to earn a return or a yield on their XRP. And they're kind of just seeing, okay, here's a number, let me throw XRP at this. There's two problems with this. One, they don't always understand the actual strategy being deployed to create that income or create that return. And many times it's extremely high risk things that they might not want to participate in if they had known that was the mechanism for actually creating that return. So one of the things that has commonly been done in the space, specifically you saw this with Celsius, was they said, hey, you give me 10 XRP, I'll give you back 11 XRP, and we'll call that a 10% return. But what they did was they said, okay, well, we need to go figure out something that will now perform better than the XRP we were given so that I can give back these investors 11 XRP. As smart as we all think we are, I'm under the impression that no one can really foresee the future. And if you're on the other side of that trade, then you don't actually have the XRP to redeliver. That's been a huge problem. Another big problem is something called leverage, where people will take out a loan against the underlying asset. That way you don't have to trade it, but then you have to beat that hurdle rate, or you're in a position where you could default on the loan. So if you had 10 XRP, you take a loan against it, you get more capital to go reinvest and create performance. But then if that next investment you make underperforms the loan rate or just doesn't go well, then you're in another bad position where the collateral is the client asset and you're, again, in a very high risk situation. And a lot of the platforms out there haven't really been that transparent about sort of these things being done. And then the last thing that is being done that I think is going to be a huge opportunity is going to be DeFi related stuff. And DeFi related stuff kind of opens up a brand new toolkit that's a lot more transparent. And you as the user has the opportunity to go in and be able to do these things yourself. Now, the one problem with that is it's like a lot of people still want a one-click solution, right? They don't want to be managing a liquidity pool. Like, that's DeFi, but it's complex, right? It's like people want it to just be like, I want everything done for me. I don't want to monitor the liquidity pool ratios. I don't want to deal with impermanent loss. I don't want to deal with all these different things. And that's kind of that last thing. Kind of what we're doing at Digital Wealth Partners is we roll everything into a 506c fund, professionally managed with people who have been doing this, algorithmic traders, quants, DeFi professionals, registered with the SEC, so the appropriate regulations to actually have people managing money. And then what we do is we lock XRP up inside of a vault. We mirror the value, the USD value, to an exchange where these different strategies can be run. That way the underlying XRP is not being traded. The value is mirrored, so there's no leverage against the assets. There's no loan. And then that way these strategies can be run. Now, it's important to realize there's always risk in any investment. So the strategies still have to perform well. Luckily, we have a 5-year track record on both strategies to be able to show people, which is very nice to see. And then kind of that next step we'll have is as better DeFi opportunities are built out, we'll be doing the same kinds of things with different DeFi oriented things. So that way people, maybe you do want to be involved in an automated market maker, but you don't plan on sitting there all day watching these pools, doing the liquidity ratios and doing all that. That way you can get involved in DeFi in a way where it's transparent on what's being done. You know the pros, you know the cons, you know the risks involved, and you just have a team behind it managing these things where you're not putting all the ownership of this on yourself. So those are a bit of the things that we're building out right now. I think there's going to be an explosion of opportunity out there. And I think there's going to be a solution for everyone. Like I talk to people all the time who are more than capable of managing some of these pools on their own, and they're very, very knowledgeable about it. And for them, it's always going to be a great solution to be able to do that on their own. But for a lot of people who are extremely busy or not interested in doing this stuff, that's where I think a lot of these solutions are going to provide a whole bunch of value.
Yeah.
I got a little follow-up question to that. Roughly, what sort of returns are you guys running right now?
So for the past 5 years on both of the funds, and it's important to realize that these funds at the moment are only available for accredited investors. The worst year on the lowest risk fund, so lowest risk also has been a 15% return. So now it's important to realize there's and it's important to realize there's intra-month volatility. So 1 month might be a positive 3 month, 1 month might be a negative 0.2% month. But over the course of the year, they performed outstandingly well. And we've just been lucky to work with very, very good teams on the back end and really just be able to connect people to institutional level professional managers to be able to run these strategies where they don't have to. At the end of the day, you're either going to be doing it yourself or you're going to have a team in place to help you actually manage these strategies. And you know, you only have to take one look at the back end for some of the tools and the teams these people have in place to say, you know what, they might be able to do a better job than me on some of this stuff.
Yeah. I think what we're all starting to understand about each other in this space, I think too, is like I went to school to try to learn about, you know, DAOs and these different liquidity pools and like, you know, how it works, how to get involved in it. And I'd say like when I was doing it, it felt very complicated. You know, would I be a good manager of this? Like my dad's told me is like, Brent, do you really have the fortitude to sit down and play day trader all day? And so to have those solutions being created and offered are amazing.
And the thing too is like not a lot of people realize, but like these high frequency trading firms, like they it's not like there's someone there clicking a button, right? They have very complex algorithms, like the fastest internet connection, Wi-Fi, hyper liquid, have partnerships with all the exchanges. So it's just on a very different level. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you can't have your own strategy that works very well and that you can manage and do on your own, but that there's levels to this stuff. And these people have been doing this, like I said, I mean, they have a 5-year track record specifically on some of this stuff. And they've been doing this professionally for some of the largest hedge funds in the world. So there's just different tiers to it. And that's one of the things I always tell people. It's like, just because this might sound like a great opportunity for everyone, like everyone's got different net worths where maybe something like this would make a lot more sense than other people. I mentioned the accreditation rule. So everyone just kind of needs to find their own place. I like to always tell people there's no like, oh, this solution is the best solution for absolutely everyone. If you're a big NFT person or you're a big meme coin person, like this kind of thing isn't going to be a good thing for you. So it's all about finding the best fit for you. And I don't think there's necessarily ever a right or wrong answer. Just making sure you're using the appropriate product for its appropriate use case, right? So if you're a trader, maybe it's not that good to be holding all your assets on a ledger. If you're someone who's looking at long-term storage, maybe it's not good to be holding all your assets on an exchange. Just understanding each tool, what it's meant for, and making sure you're using that tool for the appropriate reason.
Yeah, so well said.
Agreed.
Yeah. Because you're trading, all the years I traded Forex, I don't know, 12, 15 years I traded Forex. Every year it got tougher because the bots came in more and more, and they're all running on neural networks following some of the greatest traders that ever lived, and they built that platform around that trading success. And you think you're just going to learn a course and you're going to spend $1,000 and you're going to be a great trader. Most 95% of all trading is mental.
Yeah.
And you're not capable. I'm just telling you, you're not capable to keeping your emotions to a robot level. You're not going to do well.
It's another thing too. It's like, you always got to be careful with courses because the vast majority of the courses that's the money. It's not the
Right.
it's not the trading. It's the
Yeah.
course itself that make.
Yeah.
So there's all kinds of stuff like that, and there's great people who probably put out excellent content and do like really good courses. But you know, I've always kind of been under the mentality like for those big guys we were talking about, the algorithms. If you can't beat them, join them. Right? Like that's how I look at it personally. And you pay for it, right? Like they make money and they take a cut of the money. And for some people, they don't want that. They want it all to themselves. But for me, like I said, it's all about choosing your battles, picking what you want to be involved in, right? Do you want to spend all day trading and building out these algorithms, or do you already have an asset and you want to spend more time with your family or focus on another part of your business? So there's levels to it, and it's just really important, like I said, to make sure that you're pursuing the solution that makes sense for you.
And if these trading platforms are so good, right? Why does the guy need your money? All he needs to do is compound or get a kegger going where he could just compound that thing month on top of month with his successful platform. And within a year or two, he'd be a multimillionaire and he doesn't need your $29.99 a month, right?
Yep.
Makes sense.
Absolutely.
We've got a question in from Atlantic Living from Mickle. When do you expect financial advisors wanting to get involved with people under $500,000 in digital assets?
It's a tough question. So this is something we get a lot. It has a lot less to do with the like us wanting to work with people of smaller dollar amount. The problem is the way we have things set up right now in Anchorage Digital is that every single client has a unique vault that's separated and segregated from all other assets on the platform. And they're the only institutional custodian I know who has things set up that way. We met with a lot of institutional custodians out there. I believe Ripple and their custody solution has things very similarly built out, which is what we like to see. They just don't necessarily have the banking charter that Anchorage has in the United States, which is a big plus. But that spinning up of the institutional custody instance has a lot of cost to it. And because of that, there's minimums that we have to bring to the institutional custodian to be able to deploy those assets. Now, as the market takes off, I think it's actually going to be a little bit of a flip on that question. I think a lot more people are going to qualify for those services, even if they don't think they would ever qualify. There's a lot of people who we were talking with at XRP at 25 cents, 30 cents, who never thought they would qualify for institutional custody. And then XRP did what it did, and then they all did easily. So I think the market will take care of a lot of that for people. And one of the other things is it's important to realize, like, if you're someone who has like 5,000 XRP, which is a great amount of XRP, and I think you're going to do very well, you don't always necessarily need to have some of these super high level security things because there's cost to them. And if you're spending $2,000, $3,000 a year on institutional custody, when you could be taking that to acquire more of the asset to then use some of these services later down the road when it makes sense. I tell people all the time, just focus on accumulating more of the asset, right? Like, don't go take on something that you're not necessarily ready for in your journey. You'll get there, but you have to take the appropriate paths to get there. And you don't want to start at the highest up level when you still have more of a foundation to be building.
Fantastic advice.
That is well said.
Yeah.
This one's from Carrie. Look at my favorite people together.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Thanks, Gary.
Thank you, Terry.
Mickle and the captain together, man. I love it. On that point, kind of the fun questions, Mickle. Who were you really excited to meet up with and talk to at this event? And maybe if you have like a story from last night.
Oh, that's a good one. Actually, so obviously, Alan, Rob. Rob is someone who I had met for the first time at Mel's conference down in Cape Canaveral. And You know, Rob is just one of the most personable, nice, genuine people like I've personally met on this earth. And I was actually telling people I was actually on vacation in Utah. I was on a snowboarding trip there, and I left the trip early just to be here for Rob. And for me, it was just like being able to be here for him, being able to interact with everyone here was so worth it. And you know, it's just really cool to be able to kind of meet with people who have so much respect for me. It's really surreal from where I come from, and to hear how genuine people are about just so happy to be able to talk with me, work with me, listen to my videos, how appreciative everyone is. I mean, it just makes the whole experience so enjoyable for myself. So, I mean, just the experience of being able to be around everyone. Probably a funny little thing was like, someone's like, don't you get tired of like talking with so many people in like a single day? And well, the answer is I do get tired, but not of talking to the people. I mean, like I could talk with people all day long.
Yeah.
It's just incredible. And their genuine appreciation for everything. It's just, it makes it all worth it.
The energy of everybody when they come up to you, and it's just like you've made their day or their week or their month, and it's just like you're just a person.
Yep.
You're just somebody who's just we have this common interest, and that's it. And it's so. I thank you, Carrie. That's really polite and nice of you. I really appreciate that. This guy was the guy to answer that, Carrie. This was the guy I wanted to meet. I've waved at him a few times with people around both of us, and I thought I got to go meet that guy at a show, but he had so many people around him. It was like, that guy is a little busy right now. I'll get to him later. But here it was such an intimate setting, and he, like myself and Rob and many other people that are here, have spent hours with people, just with one person. What do you want to know? If I know it, I'll give it to you. And it's so amazing to see him interact. You know, you think you're different. You think, oh, I'm the only one that just spends that time with those people, and I'll do it until I fall down. No. Everybody that pretty much is a YouTube content provider of some sort, they do that show because they're good at being around people, and they love people, and they want to be part of it. So I was saying, I don't know if I'm saying this to Mickle, but I was saying to everybody at coffee this morning, yesterday was the first time I've ever been on a stage. And I said a couple of sentences and people clapped, and then they laughed, and then they clapped, and they laughed. And that's something that when we shoot these videos like this, you don't get that interaction. And it's amazing to be in person with people and see them as a totally different experience than, okay, I got to shoot a video again today. I'm going to prop it up and here's my notes. Okay, I'm going to go. It's so cool to be live.
Yep.
Yeah.
I couldn't agree with that more. And, you know, the first time I ever came to an in-person event, I had no idea what it was going to be like. And it was just one of those things that completely changed my perspective on everything I do. Because like what you were saying is like sometimes on these videos, it's like, oh man, like I'm supposed to be doing this, or my friends want to go to the bar, or my girlfriend wants to go out to eat, and all these different things. But being able to meet people and hear the impact you've had on people's lives really makes it so much more fulfilling and puts so much more of a purpose behind it. And that's the side of things that coming to these events, you just can't replace that.
And I could prove it to everybody. We both sat down and I said, oh, I didn't bring my camera. We should film this. And sitting on stage, Mickle gets up and films the crowd. Right?
Yeah.
Like everybody's
yeah.
filming us. It's like, no, we want to film that because when you go home, you get to watch it again. And then you realize who you're doing it for. It's
Yeah.
not just the camera. You're doing it for the people at home. And when you feel sick or you don't feel like doing a video or whatever it might be, you'll watch that little video and you go, all right, man, I there's people that care and I got to get this done. Yeah.
That is
so cool.
That is so smart. Yeah, there's something about being on stage where it just kind of blurs out because you're kind of in your mind, you know, and you're wanting to put it together, and like to go back and video the crowd is such a great idea.
Yeah.
I love that. That's going to Vegas.
Yeah. Hey, Brant, we've got to wrap this up. I got an interview and Ron and Kat just showed up.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Man, give them a big hug for me.
I will.
Yeah, we'll wrap it up. Mickle, thank you for what you're doing in our community. it's been a pleasure to follow you, and I really hope that we get to work together for a long time.
Yeah, no,
My dad and I both wanted to meet you at different points, and so excited to know you, brother.
No, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure getting to meet you guys as well. And like I said, this was long overdue, and just happy that we were able to spend some time this time, get to know each other. And yeah, I think there's a bright future ahead for all of us, and couldn't be more happy to be doing it with you guys and everyone else in this space.
Thank you so much.
Okay, B-Man, with that, we got to get rolling.
All right, we're getting rolling.
Thank you.
Guys, have fun. Have a great rest of your trip.
I will. Hey, wait a minute. Stick around 1 second. I got somebody for everybody.
You got Ron over there?
Thanks, Mickle.
Oh my God, it's Alex.
Oh
my God, look at this.
Look at my fans. Those of you who do not know who this is, this
How you doing, B-Man?
Oh, so good.
Good to see you.
So good
this
to
is
see your
Ron
faces.
Wood and his lovely
Wait,
wife
get in that
Kat.
a little bit.
Oh
Yeah.
man,
Yes.
the talent, the film talent behind the crew.
We are looking
Wondered
forward
I
to
have
seeing
some.
you in Vegas, dude.
We're so
Yeah,
excited.
I can't wait. I can't wait. Let's just hang out the whole time again, okay?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Yes, sir.
For sure.
Look, you can touch him. He's real.
Yeah.
Our celebrity.
So those of you who don't know in the stream, these are the people that are going to film our live show in Las Vegas. And they were the people that filmed all those interviews that you got to see with Zach and Dave and Judy and everybody else. These were the faces behind the screen. And you see them in the chat all the time. So
yeah,
I really appreciate you too.
We love everybody too.
Yeah, right. All right,
Yeah,
B-Man, I got to roll.
Love you guys. Have a
I got to
wonderful
introduce
day.
these guys.
That's so funny.
Perfect timing.
You do want to say pull up.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
I could have win another hour with Mickle.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Easy.
yeah.
All right, B-Man, I got to roll. I'm doing an interview here in a minute.
Love you, man. I'm gonna do 5-10 more minutes and wrap it up.
You did an interview. You were good.
Yeah, thanks.
Love you,
Hey,
man.
B-Man,
Safe
love you too.
travels.
Son, be well. Have fun today.
I will.
Okay.
All right.
Bye.
Bye. Woo! Got the boys on there cooking. Oh my gosh. Godspeed. Good morning. Hi, crew. Thank you so much for the super chat. Let me get back to that, Robert, for getting the Simon Says info to Atlantic. Absolutely. If you guys ever want to connect with each other, network with each other, that's why Al and I have an email for this channel. And it's same on here on the chat. I know you don't want to share your information with everybody, but reach out to us, staplecrew.info. We got Al Staple at Gmail. Those are really the big ones that we check every day. We are so excited about Vegas. The preparations have already come to have really great interviews with Dave from Digital Outlook, and we've got Mickle and a bunch of other big names, a lot of people that I know you all watch. And so we're excited to talk to them. And if you ever get a chance to do these meetups, it's so worth it. We're excited to do that more in the future. Part of our budget has just always been that, to be able to go and get to see you guys. I've had a meetup here at my house. We're going to do more of that. If you're kind of near California or want to get together, we want to do that with you. For those of you going to Vegas, it's just like Ron and Kat. They volunteered their time. They flew out. They're like, we'll bring our gear, man. It's all good. Like we just want to hang out with you. We just want to be together with the crew. And we totally get that. And that's what we're doing at these things. And it's never just a crypto conversation. It's sharing about all of our lives, what we see for the future, who we are, what we want. And so we're excited to do more of those. Super excited to do more videos with all of you. So if there is some desire to get on here, and I typically ask kind of the questions that were asked today. We'll go through that and so much more. I can't wait to show you all off in the future. And thank you so much for being here today. We're gonna leave it there. Yeah, let me get to some comments real quick. I don't want to leave y'all yet, man. I love you guys. Want to shout out, hey Nancy, hey Frankie. We got the other Brent in the house, the other B man. Leanne, it was so amazing talking to you. Man, the women of the crew, holy smokes. Holy smokes. Y'all really motivated me this last week. Got a chance to talk to Leanne, and we talked for a long time, and I can't wait to learn more from you. I can't wait for you to read notebooks to me and all that. And I hope your vacation went great. Robert, you can do alstaple@gmail. That's typically the one that he's been going through to get to people to talk about the trust, which he does Thursday nights, if you haven't seen that show. But also in the comments, I know you can do privates. Patreon's a really great spot. We're going to be in there making more videos, and especially here before Vegas. I actually want to get in there. We're going to start doing them with Zips. He's got a lot of information about kind of how to make that residual income and different projects. I know he's really big on Flare. That was the one that he brought up to me. I just need to kind of get back in and study it. I understand how it works, but I have not used it, purchased it to, own it and have residual income on it. So things like that we'll get into with him. He obviously crushes it every time he's on the live, so we'll make sure and bring him back more. Check him out at Zips Tips. Check out XRP007. That was Rob, who you saw today. And Mickle. Mickle has just done an excellent job in the community. I'm so excited we got to have him today. Oh my gosh. And there's my Teresa. Speaking of the women of the crew. Gosh, we talked for what, 3 hours? I can't wait to get to know all of you more. Northern, he not to give too much away here, but his desire is to want to do a channel someday as well. And once you get to know our friend Landon, he's an unbelievable human being, and I just can't wait for you to get to see him and know him. And so, my brother, much love today. Hope your uncle is doing better. Yo, what's up? We got the Code Man in the house. We got Melissa in the house. I loved being on your show, Melissa. That was a long time coming. If y'all haven't seen the Dipito show, I was part of the panel that Melissa was just asking us all questions, and just an amazing group of people. And the sentiment from that video was definitely about community and about networking. And the opportunities that I see in this for all of us are a lot bigger than just owning crypto, price go up, we, get rich someday. It really is so special to see how blockchain is going to kind of take over different, platforms, and how institutions are going to buy it up, and how we're going to use it to, here's the list: make payments, trade and exchange, the creation of smart contracts, voting, DeFi, file and data storage, decentralized applications, global exchange, banking and retirement, mortgages, rights, and how we can bring what we want to the future of it, which seems to be accountability and responsibility. I think a lot of us got into this kind of space because we're not the kind of people that wants to see the same old legacy corruption. And, you know, we want to see this form of technology be represented in, you know, our ownership and what we purchase and our assets, and being able to not just make money off of that, but to be able to secure it for ourselves and our loved ones. So any opportunities, any gold nuggets, any projects that you all have that you're all interested in, shout all those out to us. We're going to try to go through the Bitcoin convention and obviously the XRP show in May and really bring some of those companies and groups. And Mickle was talking about digital wealth partners. We want to get you guys that information and really be students of it. So that is what we are up to here. I'm going to let us all get out of here and have a very, very wonderful Sunday. I really love you all, and I'm so thankful to be a part of this community with you. With that, we are